Hello students, welcome to this online course of hydraulics engineering. So in the previous lecture we have solved the problems based on the most economical section. So you have seen we have solved the problems based on the rectangular channel, and there was the last problem was the economical section based on the trapezoidal section. So we have seen how we have calculated we have provided by the discharge. So what we have to do, basically we have to assume some parameters. So in our case we have assumed the depth of flow, and for trapezoidal section, because width was also not given, so we have assumed b. So by the use of the equations which we have derived for like the previous the last lecture, so we have used the various formula and we have directly put the values in the question for solving the depth of the flow, the width of the flow, bed width, and the depth of the flow, and the side slope also we have seen. So in the today lecture we are going to see some more problems. So what we have to do, we have to design a concrete lined channel to carry a discharge of 500 meter cube per second at a slope of 1 in 4000. The side slope of channel may be taken as 1:1. The Manning's roughness coefficient for the lining is 0.014, assuming the permissible velocity in the section is 2.5 meter per second. So this is little bit different problem from the previous one. So let us try to understand first what this problem is stating. So concrete lined channel. So if it is written in the question, lining means lined channel. There are two types of channel, line and unlined. Unlined means there is no lining is there, that means it is in natural condition. So the bed is rough, it is not smooth. So lining means we have provided the smoothness to the channel by concreting, or by other means we can use lime also. Sometimes lime is also being used. So lining means the artificially we have made the channel smooth and it will carry more discharge. The roughness is less, the friction is less, and flow is smooth. But for unlined channel, that is the channel in the natural states. So in natural states the channel will have the sides will be like not smooth, and the discharge the flow pattern is not regular, it is very irregular. So discharge is also not there. So if we are constructing the channel, then we will provide a lined channel and we will do the lining. So in the irrigation part, when we will study in the next semester, then there we have to calculate the cost benefit ratio for if we are providing the discharge for particular region. Like for the Jhalawad city, there is some irrigation project is going on, and we have to calculate the whether the we basically as an engineer we have to see the economics also. So the government will ask to us like, this is the requirement, calculate whether this is economically feasible or not. That means we have to check whether the revenue which will be generated by that irrigation channel revenue should be greater than the cost which we are providing to the project. So if we are putting rupees 100, so we must get something more than 100. So that things we have to see. So that calculation we will be doing when we will see the lining of the channels in the irrigation part. So lining means I just wanted to give you some idea about lining and unlined channels. So unlined channels, there are lot of problem also, because side slope are not lined, so it will become porous and so much water will be wasted through the side of the channel. So this problem can be reduced or it can be removed by the use of lined channels. So concrete is generally used. You might have seen the artificial channels which like canals are there 100 and 200 kilometers long. So lining is very much beneficial for us, and it will prevent the loss of water, so that we can provide the water to the farmers, or where the water is required we can easily provide that water for a nominal cost. So the channel is lined and it is carrying a very huge discharge. You can see the discharge value also, 500 meter cube per second it is providing the discharge of 500 meter cube volume is passing every second. Side slope is, the bed slope is 1 in 4000. So the side slope of the channel may be taken as 1:1. So we have to see, like, for the most economical trapezoidal section it was, here it was 1 and here it was √3. So here we have to we have changed this parameter. This is 1:1. Then we have to see 1:1 means this theta is 45 degrees. So the Manning's roughness coefficient is given. Then we will be using Manning's formula for calculation of the velocity, and permissible velocity is given as 2.5 meter per second. So designing means we have to provide the dimensions of this channel. So what will be the depth of flow, what is the width, side slope is given, so no need to calculate it. So let us see how we are going to do that. So first of all, we have been provided by the discharge, the slope, the side slope m is 1 because 1:1 means tan theta is equal to 45 degree. So this I have told. N is given as 0.014, velocity is 2.5. So discharge is given, velocity is given. What we can calculate? We can calculate the area of the flow, which is coming out to be 200 meter square. Discharge is 500. Permissible velocity is 2.5. So dividing it, we are getting 200 meter square. Now this area can be calculated by the area of the trapezoidal section, which is b plus my into y, and m is 1, so b plus y into y, by plus y square is equal to 200. So b is coming out to be, in terms of area, we have calculated, so 200 minus y square by y, because a is 200. Now wetted perimeter is this value, so b plus 2y root over 1 plus m square. M is given as 1, so b is the perimeter p is b plus 2 root 2y. Now hydraulic radius is nothing but the area divided by the perimeter. So area is 200, perimeter is b plus 2 root 2. Now discharge is given by Manning's equation, the velocity given by Manning's equation multiplied by the area. So Manning's equation is 1 by n r raised to power 2 by 3 s raised to power 1 by 2, and if it is multiplied by the area, we will have the discharge. Fine. Now the discharge is given as 500, area is 200. By putting the different values, here we can calculate the b and y. One equation we will get in b and y, and you can see one equation we have already calculated in terms of b and y, that is b is equal to 200 minus y square by y. So here we can replace this value of b by 200 minus y square by y. So after putting this, we are getting y as this, finally a quadratic equation we will having the quadratic equation. So in that equation, if we are going to calculate y is equal to, it is coming 29.52 meters and 3.70 meters. So this is practically very not feasible, but let us try to see why, how much the width we are getting for this corresponding to this depth of flow. So b was 200 y minus y by y minus y, so this is coming out to be negative. So width cannot be negative, so we can discard this value, and the depth of flow will be 3.70 meters. So the required bed width is 50.35 meters. So these are the channel parameters which we were being asked in the question. So bed width is 50.35 meters and depth of flow is 3.70 meters. So you can see the width is 50 meters. It is very, very huge canal, because we can anticipate this kind of dimensions, because the discharge was how much, 500 meter cube per second. So you can imagine how much volume will be 500 meter cubes, and it has to pass every second. That is why this dimensions are coming very, very huge. So in this way we have completed this topic. One more topic is we are being left, that is the velocity distribution in open channel. So this I have already discussed in the first chapter, but just for if in examination something is coming, you can have some points to write. So the presence, this is the velocity distribution. You can see this is the velocity distribution. The maximum value is coming somewhere. It is not coming at the top, it is coming somewhere below the top surface. Why it is coming, that we are going to see. The presence of corners and boundaries in an open channel causes the velocity vectors of the flow to have components not only in longitudinal and lateral direction but also in normal direction to the flow. Okay, so this is due to presence of corners and boundaries in an open channel. So you can ask where these corners and boundaries are there. So this is the boundary and these are the corners, due to which the velocity is having component perpendicular to the flow of direction. The distribution of velocity v in a channel is dependent on geometry of the channel. That is quite, like, we are calculating everything using the geometry, so this is quite obvious. The influence of geometry is apparent. We cannot see directly, but we can anticipate it, that it has some apparent effect on the velocity distribution. The geometry is influencing the velocity apparently. Now the velocity v is 0 at the solid boundary, that is very much obvious, and gradually increases with distance from the boundary. So this is also because from boundary the resistance to flow is reducing, so it will increase. The maximum velocity of cross section occur at a certain distance below the free surface. This dip of maximum velocity point giving surface velocities which are less than the maximum velocity is due to secondary currents. So this is the cause because of which the top surface is not having the maximum velocity. The maximum velocity is somewhere below the top surface due to the secondary currents, and it is a function of aspect ratio of the channel. So in this way, if some, like in examination maximum they can ask for 4 or 5 marks, so you can easily plot this diagram. So you can see for average velocity, if we have to calculate the average velocity of this section, so if it is like shallow section, we can easily calculate by at the point, like it is, if it is 1 meter, so at 0.6 meters we can take. If it is very deep, like 10 meters, 20 meters, so what we are going to do, we will check the velocity as 2 points, that is 0.2 times of depth. Like if it is 20 meters, so 20 into 0.2, that will be 4 meter, and 20 into 0.8, that is 16 meter. So 2 points we are having, 4 meter and 16 meter. We will calculate the velocity at these 2 points and we will take the average. So for averaging we used to have 2 types of formula. First is if shallow stream is there, if then we can directly calculate the velocity at 0.6 meters, 0.6 times of the depth, sorry, not 0.6 meter, it is 0.6 times of the depth. And if it is a very deep channel, then we have to calculate for 2 locations, that is 0.2 times of the depth and 0.8 times of the depth. We have to take the velocity and take the average of both the velocities. So in this way this unit has been completed from my side. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me. So this is all for today. Thank you.